Oh, okay. So okay. So under investment and portfolio management, we are going to start with introduction to investment. We need to understand investment. Okay. All right. So what is investment? What is investment? When we talk of investment, we are talking of you committing your money or your resources into something, expecting what? A return in future. Committing your money or your resources into something, expecting a return in future. So what we underline here what is what? Commitment of money or other resources. Then the second one that should be what? The expectation of you what? Getting benefit what? In future. Okay. So if you invest your money, put your money into a project, you use your money, you buy shares or bonds, you are expecting treasury, we're expecting that at the end of the day, you are going to get something in return. You're going to get, you'll be better off, you're going to get something in addition to the money you want invested. Okay. All right. Now that we understand investment, let's come to what is investment management. What is investment management? Now, you need to manage your investment in order to optimize what? The return and minimize what? The loss. Okay. So it involves what? Managing of your investment assets. Sometimes we do it individually, or you give it out to an institution who are specialized in that to manage your investment for you. Okay. Sometimes there are condition change in the condition change, and these conditions might affect your returns. Okay. So if you bought shares and this is the price they quoted, maybe I always say I'm in Ghana, so I'll be using Ghana. I'm a Ghanaian. Let me say I'm a Ghanaian. I'll be using Ghana cedi. They quoted what? 1 Ghana cedi per share. And you bought a number of shares. You have to what? Study the market, the financial market, to see whether the shares is worth maintaining, or you have to what? Sell it. So that you sell it when you're supposed to sell and you don't incur what? Much loss. Now let's come to financial instrument. Now, when we talk of financial instrument, it's the means of having a claim on a firm. All right. Here it's written right there. There are what? Number of or type or class of assets that are available to invest in. Okay. There are what? Class of assets that are available to invest in. And we have two classifications. And we have what? The rare assets and what? The financial assets. We have the rare assets and the financial assets. When we talk of financial asset, it's a means of contributing directly to the production of what? Production capacity of what? An economy. It's like, it's just saying you having direct investment in the production of a company, right? Because maybe when I get to so examples is land, burden, machinery, the knowledge you acquire. This one contribute directly to producing goods and services and what? In an economy. Okay. Now let's come to financial asset, and that will help us understand real asset. Financial asset, on the other, is the means of having a claim on a firm. It's a means of having a claim on a firm. So when you buy, examples is shares, is bond, is treasury bill, right? So this one, they just give you a paper indicating that you have an interest in a particular firm, right? Okay, so that is the example. So as real asset is making direct contribution, the financial asset is giving you a claim on what? On a fair. Okay, I hope it's clear. Real asset is you doing what? Investing in something that has direct contribution. So like real estate, it has direct contribution to the economy, right? Like you have knowledge, like me, I'm a lecturer, I'm lecturing, I'm having a direct contribution. My lecturing is having direct contribution to what? To the development of the economy of Ghana, right? All right. Okay, the financial asset is a means of having a claim on a firm. So shareholder is having a claim on a firm, right? So it's not direct, but it has what an indirect interest in the firm. Okay, all right. So let's continue. Now we move to investment process. Investment process. We say investment is cyclical. It follows a cycle. Why are we saying that? Mr. Mensah here invested when his investment matured, when the investment matured, he went for his investment, return investment, he then reinvested either to the same thing or into another thing, right? He then reinvested, okay? Return of investments. I don't know. So these are reinvested. Maybe I'll put something on top, okay, to differentiate it. So he then reinvested. Then as he was studying the market, he realized that this investment is not doing well. So he abandoned it, went for his money, and invested into another. So it's a cycle. You invest, it's a cycle of you invested, you come for your money, you invest again, you come for your money, you abandon at a point, go for your money, reinvest into another thing. Okay. So that's why we call it what? So either you invest in the same to invest into, that's why we call it, we say it's cycle, it's a cycle. Okay. All right. Now we want to following Levy and Post to identify 5 basic components of the cycle. So 5, and the first one is what? Investor characteristics. Investor characteristics. Investors characteristics. So investor characteristics. Now, to help that investment process, the first process is what? Investment process. The first process is to identify the investor characteristics. So, if you are an institution and someone comes to you, the person wants to invest, you have to know the characteristic of that investor, right? Now, first, you want to know, is the investor a risk adverse person, a risk neutral person, or a risk lover? So that you know what the person wants. Another thing, is the investor guided by faith? Well, for instance, if you want me to invest into me, I will, because I'm a Christian. And I don't want to go into that. Some people they are not, faith also is against alcoholic beverages, meaning that as a Christian might not like it, right? Most of them don't eat certain food, so they will probably not like to go, or they don't, most of them don't believe in interest, right? They don't believe, so they will definitely not patronize all other things constant, right? Muslims wouldn't like to patronize or invest in financial institutions that charges what interest. Are we okay? So this is you identifying their character. The next thing is for you to know, are you dealing with an individual or in an institution? Okay, are you dealing with an individual or an institution? So these are some of the things you do know about invested characteristics. The next thing is what? Investor vehicle identification and selection. Investor vehicle identification and selection. This is where you tend to choose investment. I told the investment vehicle is the asset, the class of assets we invest in. Investment vehicle is the class of asset investment. So this is where we are going to choose the type of assets you are going to invest in, right? For the person, or if it's you, for the person who is interested in what investing. Okay, so some of the class of assets is bonds, stock, derivatives. Okay, so you choose and choose. Okay, now the next step is you investment strategy formulation. Investment strategy formulation. Now you know the investment character. The investor makes average. Investor is a risk lover. The investor is a faith-based person, or the investor is not. It doesn't have believe in anything. It's faith. It doesn't believe in anything. So if the other doesn't believe in anything, so now after knowing all this and you are selecting the investor, you ought to select what investment vehicle that will optimize its what return. Okay, so in this, you want to just pick the best investment for him, which fall under what the is investment policy, the policies or the characteristics that the client bears. Okay, all right. The next thing is investment strategy implementation. Investment strategy implementation. So now that you have decided on the asset to buy, there's now the next thing is for you to what asset allocation should be what implemented. Then you implement what you've decided to do. So I'm going to buy bond, I'm going to buy treasury for this person because he's risk averse, and I don't want this person is a risk lover. So let me go for maybe an investment with high risk and high return. Okay, so that is it. Now, the last thing you do is investment strategy evaluation, feedback, and reinvestment plan, right? So after you have allocated the assets you are intending, you have invested in, you don't just sit back, right? You have to always assess the performance of the asset you've invested in. You evaluate it, you assess it to see, is it doing well? Should I expand? As in, should I add more investment to this investment because it's doing well? Should I withdraw? Should I reinvest? Do you get me? So you don't just sit there, you just monitor the financial market and see whether the asset you chose to invest in is doing well or not. All right. Okay. The next thing we want to learn is classification of invested based on their character. They were telling me that identifying the invested character. Maybe next time I have to bring this up, but I bring that so that you understand. So invested character, first you want to know, is the investor an individual or an institution? Right? So if it's an individual who wants to invest, it's an institution like a firm, like Ghana Water want to do the investment, like Catholic University want to do that investment. It's an institution that Smith want to do that investment. Then if it's just me, Vic, who want to invest, I'm an individual. If it's you who want to invest, you're an individual. Now the next thing is the next classification is based on what? Risk attitude. Risk attitude. Risk attitude, we are looking at the person level of what? Okay, and we have what? Risk average investor. Risk average investor. This person is willing to take minimum risk with compensated return. With what? Compensated level of return. Is ready to. So always note, a risk average investor wants a minimum risk. And even the risk is taken, it should have a compensated return for that minimum risk is taken. Okay, so that is for risk averse person. Then we go to risk loving investor. Risk loving investor is willing to take high risks for high return. We don't say he's a risk lover, he's ready to take high risk for low return. No, high risk must go with what? High return. Okay, so gambling. Sometimes some of these women investment in amount of money. Okay, so that then we have risk neutral. This person, it doesn't belong to any of them. The person is indifferent. Let me underline it. The person is indifferent to risk. And if you are giving him minimum risk, give him minimum risk with what? A certain level of what? Return. And required level of return. If you are giving him high risk, also high return. That's what the person is concerned about. The person doesn't care whether the investment is made in is risky or not. The only thing you care about is if it's risky, give me high return. That's all. The third one is faith-based investor. Faith-based investor. Sorry. A faith-based investor is guided by his faith. Muslims are guided by them. I said that Muslims don't believe in interest, charging interest, right? Yeah. So a typical Muslim, a typical Muslim wouldn't what? Wouldn't want to invest in a firm that charges what? Interest, right? That's for a typical Muslim. A Christian, they don't believe in taking alcohol. So a Christian might not want to invest in a firm that deals in alcoholic beverages. So these people are guided by their faith. So that is it. The next thing is we go to investment policy. Investment policy. It is a document that details the objective constraint. Let me say, it's a document that details the objective and characteristic of an investor. Let me say that it's objective. The main thing here is the objective and characteristics of what an investor. The objective and characteristics. And so this will tell you this person is a risk lover. The person risk philosophy. The person investment restraint. I don't invest in company that deal in weed. Company that sell alcohol. I don't invest in financial institution that charges interest. That is it. Okay. So you know their philosophy, objective, investment, restraint, and portfolio choice. Okay. So we are saying that the objective of an investor may include return maximization and risk minimization, right? That is the general norm. And we believe that every investor wants to maximize its return and minimize its risk. But from the constraint, you might know, you will know the level of limit. And like I told you, some people, risk lovers, want to maximize their return, and if it comes with high risk, they don't really care. They're ready to go into it. And so some of the constraints, and even though you have put down your investment for this and this and that you want, there are certain constraints, right, that might influence the investor from choosing its objective or what he actually wants to investing, there are certain constraints. For instance, we have first liquidity. When we talk of liquidity, what are we talking about? Easy to sell. Easy to sell. So easy to sell. Now, what this investor is looking at, if I buy this asset, or if I invest in this asset, and peradventure, I want to sell it, is it easy to sell without losing substantial value of the asset? There are some investment, it's easy to transfer, it's easy to sell, it's easy to transfer to another person. People willing to buy. Others, people will not be willing to what? Patronize. So it becomes difficult to sell. And if it's difficult to sell, at a point you would have to reduce the value of the asset so that someone will look at that advantage part of it, buying it at a low cost, and the person will consider and buy it. Okay. Another thing we have is unfavorable regulations. Some regulations are not favorable to a certain asset, and this might prevent you from patronizing that particular asset. So your objective is to go in for this asset. But here in the case, there are certain rules surrounding the purchase of the asset, or even the sale of the asset, or that might help you or prevent you from achieving that objective. And then every income we earn, we pay tax on it. If you get dividends, we pay tax on it. Even so, when you sell and get capital gain, you pay tax. Now, if the tax is very high, it might prevent an investor from achieving it. You get me? So I want to invest. But when they want to invest, they will tell now I will give 5% to ask for taxation. And this might discourage me or prevent me from achieving my objective of buying it. Or if someone is buying it on your behalf for you, like an institution, a firm that is into that, they might look at that and inform you that this, because of this, they don't think it's advisable. Okay. Now we are going to active and passive investment management. When we talk of passive, English, we know passive is someone who is inactive, as in who is inactive, actually, not doing anything. So we have people who invest, and after they invest, they realize they don't make any attempt to improve the performance of their investment, to improve their return. Probably they think they've diversified the investment they made very well, because we believe that diversification, right? But then the person does not do anything, attempt, make any effort to improve the performance of his or investment, right? The same way we have active investor. When we talk of active investor, this person make every attempt based on its knowledge to improve the performance of its investment. Okay, so this person will be monitoring, assessing the market. Where is the shares, the price? If we bought shares, is the price increase reducing? If it's reducing, is it a general economic condition? Or it's just that particular asset that is performing poorly? So the person will be monitoring to see, should I now sell the asset so that I will invest in a better asset, or I can get a better investment that will yield me what I'm expecting? So that is what an active investor. Okay. Now, development in investment. Development in investment. There have been a lot of development over the years, and we just based on Levy and Post, the development they've identified, right? Now, one thing we have realized is that people are now moving away from individual investment to institutional investment. People are now moving away from People are now moving away from investing as an individual to institution. Because we have institutions who are specialized in investment. They have knowledge. That's what they do. They know the market. They know they have a lot of information. So instead of the person going to invest with little knowledge, with little or no knowledge, and doesn't know how the financial market works, this person will now give it out to what? An institution do it on its behalf. Another thing is advancement in technology and computer. Advancement in sorry, technology and computer. Now, by sitting here, I can buy shares. Just using my phone, I can buy shares. On my laptop, I can buy shares. I just get internet. I'm getting internet. I can buy shares for where I am. Okay. So at first, you have to meet face to face, go to stock exchange, and what? Buy it from there. But now you can sit at the comfort of your home and buy. So this is another development that I'll get. The next one is new investment vehicle and investment strategy. Traditionally, we knew of stock and bond as financial instruments or as securities investing, but now there is new investment vehicles like financial options, futures, rare options, right? So now they've introduced new investment vehicles that so we are not limited to just shares and bond. Another one is market globalization. Market globalization. Because due to improvement in transportation, you can easily move from here to America. I can be here on my machine. I can transact business, buy shares, buy bond at US. Due to improvement in transportation technology, globalization, the correlation between countries has become what is highly positive, meaning that what is happening in Ghana is influencing US, is influencing Nigeria, is influencing AU. Ukraine war is influencing Ghana. Ukraine-Russia war is influencing Ghana, but it's far away. It's influencing Ghana. It's affected our food prices. It's affected our economy. And there are a lot of research going on that is showing that indeed Ukraine war is affecting other countries. So globalization has reduced the benefit of international diversification. When we talk of diversification, is supposed to minimize what risk. And even when you take it up to international level, you say it minimizes risk better. But now, globalization has reduced the benefit of international diversification. Okay? The next thing is increase in focus on security regulation and investment ethics, right? So scandals like Aaron K. 2008 financial crisis, issues like police scheme cases in Ghana, has triggered the need to increase regulation to minimize this issue, the possibility of people being scammed, the possibility of people losing their hard-earned money. Because of that, they've introduced a lot of regulation into the financial system. So to buy shares, you go through a lot of regulation. There's a lot of rules, there's a lot of ethics required. Okay. The last one is advancement in knowledge. Knowledge has advanced. People know a lot. things that it would have been difficult for people to know then, people easily know now. They have a lot of information, a lot of knowledge on how to manage their investments, on what to invest in, and all that. Okay. We talk of international investment. Now, international investment is a form of portfolio diversification. And I said portfolio diversification is to minimize what? Risk. Because we believe that when you diversify, that is spreading your what? Investment. If you don't understand where that from, diversification is just spreading your investment. Let me see. So instead of investing all your money in company A, when you say diversify, so instead of investing 1,000 Ghana cedis, forgive me, that's my writing there. 1,000 Ghana cedis, all in company A. We are saying that divided. Invest in company B, company C, company D. Diversification is very broad. So company A, company B, company C, with the aim that in case company A defaults, these three will pay. We also, another level of diversification is that if you are investing, the correlation between the firms shouldn't be high. So if you invest in Zenith Bank, for instance, in Ghana, don't go and invest the next one in Prudential Bank. Well, there's likely that any something that will affect that can prevent the Zenith Bank from paying, or that can from paying as required, of something that can cause the Zenith Bank from what? Or that can cause the Zenith Bank to default, can also cause Prudential Bank to default. So if you invest in a financial institution like Zenith Bank, don't go to another financial. You can go to food and beverage like Nestle. The next one, you go to Total, oil company, Total. Then you go to, so that now a further step is, if you invest in Ghana, when the economy of Ghana is going bad, it will affect almost all the firms, right? So why don't you invest some in Ghana, some in Nigeria, some in US, some in UK? So that's a higher form of diversification. So we say international diversification is more profitable than but I think that in spite of this knowledge, even though we have the knowledge that international portfolio diversification is good, now the question is, why then? Why then? The question now is, why then do people invest in their home? Why don't people go for the international policy? Now, the first point is home bias. Home bias. I'm a Ghanaian. I have information about Ghana. I know how things work in Ghana. At least I understand it. I know what is going on in Ghana than what is going on in US or what is going on in Nigeria. So for me to invest, I'll prefer to invest here where I know what is happening. And the information asymmetry in this country, to me, in my own country that I'm staying currently, will be low compared to Nigeria. Right? Okay, that's the first one. The second one is OLI paradigm. Own, local, and internationalized. And internationalize or internationalization. Now we say that mostly investors prefer to to invest in their own country first because they are familiar. Then they will go to a neighboring country. To understand that, I believe that Nigerians, Benin, Togo is more closer to me. I understand them than what going to UK or going to Ukraine or going to Russia. Do you get me? So I will start from my country. When I become strong, then I'll move to a neighboring country. Then the next step is I'll go to a foreign country, a country that is quite far. Why don't people go in for international diversification? The national portfolio. The last point is globalization. I've explained this. Globalization is where the correlation among countries is now high. What is happening in one country is affecting the other country. Okay. So at the end of the day, what is happening in Ukraine and Russia is affecting Ghana. You get it? So if I invest here, the same thing that is happening to my investment is likely to happen if I invest in Russia. Okay. And so that is why. Another thing that is not here that I would like to talk about is exchange rate. I think I should add exchange rate. Yeah. I should. So I think I should add exchange rate is exchange rate, right? If you invest in a country and probably the country's currency depreciates, there's a risk, a likelihood of the country's currency depreciating to yours. At the end of the day, when you bring the money back, the value will be low, right? The worth of the money will be low because the value of wherever you invested as what depreciated. Okay. Okay. So I'll add this to it. All right. So it's another thing that can discourage investing. When if you come and invest in Ghana, and while US come to invest in Ghana, when you are taking the money will be a peanut there, right? It will not be anything there because the value of our currency is there. It's big compared to what US currency. Now I want to know method of international investment. Method of international investment. We have multinational corporations. We have foreign ordinance and cross-border investment. So foreign direct investment is one of them. A company will be outside and said come and establish a subsidy. So that's one way. Cross-border investment, investing in a country other than what the one country is cross-border investment. So buying the shares, if I go and buy shares in Nigeria like that right now is cross-border investment. All right. Let's now go to financial intermediation. Financial intermediation is necessary here because as we invest, we sometimes need additional money, which we have to go to the financial institution for help. Now, when you talk of financial intermediation, what we are just saying is when financial institutions take money from surplus spending unit to deficit spending unit. When we talk of surplus spending unit, we are talking of people or firms that have more than enough to, as they can what invest or come and deposit assets they have in the bank, invest or just saving in what in the bank, right? Then we have what deficit spending. Those that they need the money, they will also go to the bank and borrow from the amount and those who have assets in the bank. All right. So it facilitates flow of what funds from those who have excess to those who have what less or who are in. Okay. Now we come to market for lemon, Ponzi scheme, and investment fraud. When we talk of market for lemon, we are just talking about the case where buyers do not have enough information as the seller. So it's the issue of information asymmetry. And if you don't have enough information about a particular product and you are buying it, you as the buyer, you want to minimize your risk by beating the price down so that at the end of the day, if it doesn't go as it's supposed to go, you will not lose much, right? The same way those who have the seller who has the information might also believe that his product is standard and therefore wouldn't be ready to beat the price down to what you want to pay. So at the end of the day, the product will not be sold. The only product that will be sold in those markets will be products that are substandard that the seller knows that is substandard. So that's why we call what lemon market. Lemon market. Okay. Now we come to investment fraud. We come to investment fraud. It's unethical practice in investment market that induce investors based on what? False information. Based on false information. They are giving false information. They go into the investment and they are scammed. They are scammed because they don't get what at the end they are supposed to get. This includes corporate misconduct, insider information, mutual fund fraud, and Ponzi scheme. They give false information that entice investors to invest in something, which at the end of the day is not so. Okay. The next one is Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme. The next one is Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme is an investment fraud in which manager collects money from investors. The firm collects money from investors, promising them high return. They're really believing that they are into something profitable, that's why they are paying. Wow. They are paying them out of the existing investing. Out of new investors that come in. So they use this thing for it, pyramid. There's a pyramid. Right. So for a Ponzi firm to survive, people have to continue to invest. And those who invest at the latter period must be more than the previous one. So you see this place is small. Yes, when that these people should be more. So they will have enough to pay this one. Because they are definitely going to pay these ones with interest. And they themselves, they are going to chop some of the money too. So the next time they have to get more to be able to pay these people too, right? And for these ones to pay the top, so they always have to get more to pay. So that's how this Ponzi scheme operates, and it's an example of what a scam investment. Okay. All right. Thank you. So we are done with the first lecture under investment and management. The next one, I don't know whether we do Zoom record like this or we just meet in person. But if you have any question, put it at the comment section. If you get a lecture from my YouTube channel, if you have any question, put it at the comment section. I will address it. Okay. All right. So we have ended another